How you doing, guys? Professor EDC with another BLADE-OSOPHY Sunday, and today let's talk about uh, opinions and facts, shall we? And what makes a knife a good piece, a collector's piece, or a good knife, a beautiful knife, or something that might be from a gas station, but hard worker, and of course there are elements to each and every one of them. We may talk about materials, right? We may talk about 20 CV, we may talk about G10, compression lock, axis lock, frame lock, scorpion lock, shark lock, back lock, etc., etc. We may talk about titanium, micarta, and of course those elements will count, but those elements count as facts, right? As factual information. But then what makes something more enjoyable than other things? Yeah, might be the ergos, might be the cutting performance and geometry, but at the same time, the mental or the emotional designation we give to things. And in this case, the designation that we give to knives. For example, this knife would have been long gone if it wasn't for one thing, and that is that Professor EDC 1000 subscribers. And that it's not because it's a bad knife, right? On the contrary, this is a pretty good knife. One of the best budget knives out there, I would say. But I have sold many knives in my collection, and perhaps not as good as this one, not as these, but this one. And maybe I could have sold this Penguin, QSP Penguin already, because I have other knives that I use for hard use and worker knives, like the rats, and the rats aren't going anywhere because I just love me a rat. I still think they are the best budget knives out there, the Rat 1 and 2, still. This one came close to the Rat 2, but that's not the topic. What made this stay was exactly what's inscribed in it, and the situation, and everything that mounted up to that moment. And my closest group of subscribers. And so that's why this knife stays in the collection and will stay, because not only because it's good, but because there is a mental and there is an emotional designation to it, as you can physically see. It's not just, you can see it here, right? But there are things, the knife or the watch my father gave me, for example, or things like that. And that is going to be subjective facts, let's call them, subjective opinions or subjective information. This knife is well done. This knife works without a problem. But what makes this beautiful for me is the work done on this on this bone, this jigged bone, right? The color of the bone, the combination with the liners, and just a whole bunch of small details that I really enjoy, and that it feels good in hand, and that it was a very nice working with Richard and coming together to choose my knife. And you know, there are many bits of information that are some objective and some subjective, but in the end, yes, it's a good knife, but I think that it's beautiful, and that's something subjective. And why is this so important? Because we're going through very difficult times, these modern times, and it is important, I believe, to realize what may be bits of facts and bits of opinions, what may be subjective information and what is objective information, and to discriminate between these two. It is a mental ability that we develop, that we help children develop, to discriminate good from bad, right? Good from evil, right from wrong, and black from white, red from blue, you know, and there is nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with noticing the differences that make up one thing and differences that make up another thing. But at the same time, things are not the same, right? And that's another discrimination. That's another of the mind. The mind discriminates. That's a natural, a normal ability that we develop. This knife is not going to be used the same as this knife. This knife cannot be used in the same way as this knife. Why? Because there are essential differences. This is way thinner than this. And this is not going to be able to handle the tasks that this knife is going to be able to do. Same with the rats, right? Though we may say these two blades might be very similar, right? Because they are both strong, they are both have good geometries, they're both good knives. Yeah, and there's just a point that I would mention that makes a big difference, and that would be the locking system, the triad lock. This is a safer knife. Not that the rat isn't. Like I said, this is one of my favorite knives, and I still believe that this is still the best budget knife that there's out there. But the triad lock is way stronger, and this is not just an opinion because it has been demonstrated, right? Through different videos, whether from Cold Steel or other people in YouTube or elsewhere. So this is going to be stronger. And that's not saying that this is bad. So the ability to discriminate one thing from another is it denotes intelligence in the human process. And so not everything is the same. There are essential differences in things, and we come to love those differences, don't we? These two may be very similar, and they competed for quite some time. And some say this is the better knife than this one. That's up to you. That's up to each one of us. There are similarities, there are differences, but we come to appreciate those differences. This sheep's foot, for example, this drop point, the ergos on the rat one, this finger choil-like resting area that just makes it so comfortable. And then this one has a similar but smaller space, and it's not as comfortable. And those small differences, in the end, make us choose one or the other. And there's nothing wrong, right? Like, I don't know, choosing the person you're going to marry or you're going to spend the next years with. The rest of your life is it's kind of hard to say nowadays, but you know, who'd want to choose an irresponsible person that I don't know, may drinks every day, goes to the casino every day, and likes being around women? You know, that's what discrimination is for. And discrimination as an ability of the mind, of intelligence, it's something positive. And we use it every day. And we can see it in the knife world, right? When we choose one YouTuber from another, when we choose one knife from the other. Why? Because of different pieces of information that we have. And but also recognize the emotional factors, right? I'm attracted to red and black combination. Well, there it is. It's not that it's better than the gray or the green. As a matter of fact, these colors are like the colors I'm more attracted to. But then again, there will be people who will like orange or blue or purple, and that's okay. But we get to enjoy the differences, and those differences also make us and help us grow. It's one of the strengths of the United States, for example, and Europe. You know, there's this wonderful mix of races living together and in apparent peace and harmony, coming together to form a country with each with their differences, and that's wonderful. You know, if it was all homogeneous, you know, all blades the same, with the same materials, with the same blade shape, with no changes, you know, if like yeah, I love the rats, but imagine all folding knives were rats. Well, we just have to live with that, right? But it's wonderful that we have diversity and the ability of the mind to discriminate. It's an intelligence. It's a factor of intelligence, and so as well as common sense, things that we are losing. So this video is just to remind us that these abilities are there for a reason. And we develop these abilities for many reasons. And, well, just wanted to put my 5 cents in on this matter, which seems to me very important in the days that we are living, and the confusion that is all around us. I don't know about you guys, but you know, as you read the news or watch the news and the problems that are all over the world, you know, we sometimes may get confused on how to go about things. And yeah, it's good to listen to people who know, for example, in the knife world, who know a bit more or a whole lot more, so that we can make the right choice. But in the end, it's very important that you make your own choice, that you don't deposit that whole trust on a certain YouTuber, you know, and that you're just making that decision because that person told you to, or that person suggested. We analyze the information, we analyze the data, and then discriminate between facts and opinions, between subjective information and then objective information, right? Anyways, hope you enjoyed it, and please leave a comment, share, and subscribe if you're not subscribed, and hope you have a wonderful week. Professor EDC out.